I'm Darley Newman, and I'm out here traveling,
exploring sites related to the American Revolution in my home state of South Carolina, including Kings Mountain, Cowpens, Musgrove Mill, Walnut Grove Plantation, Clemson, and 96.
If you held 96, you held the backcountry of South Carolina.
This fort plays a pivotal role in the Battle of Seneca.
They're neighbors.
Many of the men probably even knew each other fighting across the hill.
It is hallowed ground for certain, and that is one of the reasons that the park exists.
I don't think that there's a single day that goes by when we're not visited by somebody who is descended from one of the men who participated in this battle.
We'll travel to the upcountry city of Spartanburg.
It's a little European flavor right here in town.
Choo-choo. Choo-choo.
And also enjoy stops for award-winning food and drinks along the way. Because every traveler has to eat.
Cheers. I'm Darley Newman, and welcome to Travels with Darley in South Carolina's Upcountry on a revolutionary road trip.
During the American Revolution, South Carolina's upcountry laid witness to intense fighting, sometimes neighbor pitted against neighbor, in brutal battles like Musgrove Mill. At Cowpens and Kings Mountain, American forces saw major wins as turning points in the Southern campaign, while a siege at 96 would end with a British victory. We're traveling to these locations to uncover the deeper history of South Carolina's role in the War for Independence. Our first stop is Kings Mountain National Military Park, located just south of the North and South Carolina border. Park Ranger Robert Holmes is taking us along historic trails at this site of the October 7, 1780 Battle of Kings Mountain, a pivotal American victory.
So Major William Chronicle was one of the local militia commanders. When the battle is being fought, he is going to lead his men in this area where we're walking right now. And then he will be cut down by Loyalist gunfire 35 years after the Battle of Kings Mountain. One of Major Chronicle's friends, Dr. William McLean, he will erect the original Chronicle marker, the second oldest monument on any battlefield in the continental United States. The rock that he chose to build it from was very soft, so there's been a lot of erosion. In 1914, the Daughters of the American Revolution stepped in and they donated the new Chronicle marker to preserve the inscription.
So right now we're looking at the second oldest monument on a battlefield here in the United States.
That's correct.
There's also a marker for Major Patrick Ferguson, who hailed from Scotland. He led the British forces at Kings Mountain and also perished during the battle.
Behind the grave marker, you may have noticed there's this large pile of stones here. This is known as a cairn. You put the stones there in token of that bond of friendship in the Scottish tradition to bring a little bit of luck from a great Scotsman to yourself.
But the stones might serve another purpose.
In the Carolinas, a second tradition emerged, which is that pile of rocks is to keep this enemy of the Carolinas in the ground.
Ranger Rob and I continue our exploration along the battlefield trail, a 1.5-mile paved trail taking us past various memorials and monuments.
1780 is not a great year. 3 continental armies were destroyed, and the British had basically overrun all of South Carolina. When the Battle of Kings Mountain is fought, a wing of Lord Cornwallis's army is completely annihilated. This large, decisive victory changes people's perceptions. Now they're thinking, hey, it's time to take up our guns. So it convinces the Patriots, those who favored independence, to persevere, to fight on, to continue.
A lot of people who visit this park, they actually have a tie to the battle.
I don't think that there's a single day that goes by when we're not visited by somebody who is descended from one of the men who participated in this battle. This park isn't just a place to come and visit and learn about history. To them, it's almost sacred ground.
There's more sacred ground at a strategic location at 96 National Historic Site, located about 2 hours southwest of Kings Mountain.
This is the first land battle in the South, 1775, so right at the beginning of the American Revolution. It's a small battle, but it's still very important.
Park Ranger Adrian Stewart is guiding me to the original earthen star fort, built starting in December of 1780 by Loyalist soldiers and enslaved peoples from area farms and plantations.
So we've made it to this star fort.
Yes.
How remarkable that this still is here and relatively intact from the time period.
Built from the red clay that's around here, 8-pointed star-shaped fort. Inside the fort are about 200 Loyalist troops under the command of John Harris Kruger. The Patriots are attempting to take the fort. They're under the command of Nathaniel Greene. We do have some of the trenches the Patriots dug to take the fort. The log structure is the rifle tower that was built by the Patriots. The idea was to elevate your sharpshooters or your riflemen so that they could shoot down into the fort. This is a reconstruction. It's only 10 feet high. The original was 30 feet high.
So this was a 28-day siege. What was the culmination?
They did try to take it on June 18th, 1781 with a full-on attack known as the Forlorn Hope. Unfortunately for Nathaniel Greene and the Patriots, they were not successful, but in the long run, they do succeed at getting the Loyalists to leave.
So would 96 be considered, in a sense, a crossroads of the South and the Southern campaign?
Yes, definitely. 96 really plays a role in getting supplies to and from armies. The Loyalist and the Patriot top command realized that if you held 96, you held the backcountry of South Carolina.
Why the name 96?
Yeah, that's always the question. The most accepted theory is that the traders that are traveling from Charleston to Kiowa believe it to be about 96 miles from the town of Kiowa, which is the closest Cherokee town.
Kiowa was located around where Clemson, South Carolina is today, another site we'll be visiting on this trip. A tasty stop awaits just down the road in the town of 96 with John Murray.
John, I realized you call it 96 Pecan Company because you got over 96 kinds of pecans here.
Well, not quite, but close to it.
Murray, who played football at Clemson University, wanted to do something meaningful for himself and his community in his retirement.
I was in law enforcement for 30 years, and so I knew when I retired from that work, I wanted to get into some type of farming. And when we bought the old house next door, which was built in 1848, the pecan grove out there was with it, and it was planted in the 1880s.
I'm gonna try the sweet heat.
Yeah, please do.
Ooh, those are hot.
Try the praline, it's really good.
Okay, that's my favorite so far. It's that sugary, salty goodness. I'm definitely leaving here with a sugar rush.
Well, I would hope so.
I'm heading towards Spartanburg, South Carolina, where I'll base myself for this trip. On the way, we're stopping at a key site for the Patriots at the Battle of Musgrove Mill State Historic Site, where Interpretive Ranger Mark Stanford is taking us on a battlefield tour.
So the Battle of Musgrove Mill was fought here on August 19th, 1780. About 200 Patriot militiamen had a surprising victory against a force of about 300 Loyalist militiamen and about 200 provincial troops fighting for the British. The morale of the Patriots had pretty much plummeted to nothing in the South. Many thought the war was over, and for the British High Command, they thought the war was over also. Cornwallis believed he had won the war. Unlike many other battles, everyone that fought here is American. It's Patriot versus Loyalist Americans. And all the Loyalist militiamen and the Patriot militiamen from South Carolina are all local men, neighbors of Edward Musgrove or living around 96.
They're neighbors.
Yeah, many of the men probably even knew each other fighting across the hill. I've never come across complete families being divided, but it's very clear that communities are divided here at this battle.
We're standing where these local men brutally fought.
What about the topography?
So it's going to be the landscape itself that kind of shapes the battle here. They don't have time to build trenches or build walls or dig anything, so they're going to use the landscape and the trees as their defensive line. In fact, Colonel James Williams of the South Carolina militia, in his account of the battle, is going to say he ordered his men to take to the trees. Essentially means you just find your biggest tree, get behind that tree to hide from the enemy. So those trees are going to be critical. It's going to save the Patriot lives here. The shooting bit here in the field is only going to last about 15 minutes, which is fairly typical of Revolutionary War battles. There are very few that last long periods of time. But even for the Revolutionary War, this 15 minutes is going to be very intense and very critical. The victory here will boost the morale of our Patriot cause, setting the stage for the next big battle in October at Kings Mountain.
Which was another victory for the Patriots. Driving from Musgrove Mill to the city of Spartanburg takes less than 40 minutes. Spartanburg is a charming city whose walkable downtown features cafes, shops, and a sort of European flair. which is why I'm not surprised when my local guide Joe Mullinex shows up on a Vespa.
Welcome to town.
Arrivederci. Am I in Italy or Spartanburg?
Oh, you know, it's a little European flavor right here in town.
We pass signs for Spartanburg's music trail, en route to a special bookstore.
Look at this greeting.
Welcome to Hub City Bookshop, the official mascot. Where this is one of the few nonprofit bookstores in the country. And there's a publishing house associated with this, Hub City Press. They put out a ton of books on Revolutionary War history because that's such a key component to Spartanburg's history.
Just steps away in Morgan Square, there's a monument to a Revolutionary War general considered to be a hero of the Battle of Cowpens.
Daniel Morgan led the first defeat of British regulars in the war. Spartanburg is named after his regiment, the Spartan Regiment. The statue was dedicated 100 years after the battle. Spartanburg at that time was a town of 3,000 people. Over 20,000 people came to town for the dedication.
Today, people dine, attend concerts, and read books from the Hub City bookstore in the shadow of Daniel Morgan. Just a few blocks away, I'm dining at the Kennedy, a locally loved farm-to-table restaurant run by William Cribb.
Born and raised here in Spartanburg.
Yes.
And a restaurateur and entrepreneur.
Yeah. We focus on what's seasonal, local farms, small purveyors. We try to incorporate the farmers into the dishes.
Tell me what we're having.
We've got a pork schnitzel, which is a center-cut bone-in pork chop that we pound nice and thin, lightly fried. We make a little piccata sauce, and then we dress it with our house salad with those Tiger River greens.
Really good. Delicious.
Thank you.
I turn in for the night at Spartanburg's Cleatdale Historic Inn and Gardens and wake up for a homemade breakfast.
Oh, it's delicious.
This historic inn has been beautifully restored by husband and wife Paul and Ponthiola Abernathy.
So the property dates back to 1798. It was a 440-acre plantation. This is the second house on the property, and it was built in 1913.
I stayed in the main inn, but Ponthiola tells me there's more unique accommodations in the backyard.
How did you land a caboose here?
Well, it wasn't easy. So the last Cleveland heir to be born in that house, her name was Elizabeth Cleveland Welch. On the night she was born, the train nearby broke down. Her dad walked to the train and invited people into the house for tea. So I thought, I've got to find a train. So here comes the caboose. Voila!
Choo-choo!
Choo-choo! So we kept original elements like the sink, luggage racks, and these wonderful brass poles.
And a lot of attention to detail. I could look around here for a while and keep seeing things.
Exactly.
It transports you to another time.
Exactly.
And I love that. Yeah, right here in your backyard.
Yeah, that's it.
For those who like to get active or just have good coffee, Little River Roasting at Fretwell has a roastery right on site and is located just off the Mary Black Rail Trail. Gervais Hollowell meets me for a cup.
You are not only selling fresh coffee, but you're roasting it.
Yes, we roast. We've been roasting now since 2001.
Where are you sourcing it from?
We have partnerships with farms in Peru, in Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Cameroon.
It is a world coffee affair here.
Well, it is. You've got to go to get to know your farmers, and then it makes it all more empowering to know you're doing something right.
I see that people are coming in from, they're walking on the trail, they're driving in.
Yes.
Community gathering spot.
Yes, it's a community gathering spot.
Well, cheers to good coffee and good community.
Yes, thank you very much.
It's about an hour's drive from Spartanburg to Clemson, South Carolina, home to Clemson University. Outside of Clemson's Memorial Stadium, where the Clemson Tigers play football, Dr. Otis Pickett shares more of Clemson's heritage.
A big part of Clemson's identity is military heritage. We're here at the Scroll of Honor, which highlights the 498 men who gave their lives in service to our country. And it's directly across from Memorial Stadium at Death Valley, which is named in honor of all the veterans who've served defending our country.
One place that I hear there's great tailgating and that I have to visit for at least a beer
Yes, the Esso Club. So the Esso was a gas station, and it was one of the first places in South Carolina after Prohibition that you go get a beer. In the 1950s and 60s, it became a place where faculty and staff would gather and have a beer on Fridays at the end of the long week, and undergraduates could come and meet with them and talk about what they were learning in class and share a beer together.
Clemson's campus has other sites that travelers can visit.
This is the site of the home of Andrew Pickens, General Andrew Pickens, and the county is named after General Pickens, and he's the highest ranked general to serve in the American Revolution from South Carolina. General Pickens was known for his fair trade with the Cherokee, and he was respected among the Cherokee, and so that's why George Washington chooses Andrew Pickens to be the chief ambassador for the Treaty of Hopewell.
The Treaty of Hopewell is a significant first.
It begins this pattern of the United States government engaging with Native American nations as a foreign nation. The Cherokee engage in this treaty, but you also have the Choctaw and the Chickasaw coming sometimes 500, 600, 700 miles away to engage in this treaty. And it's one of the few treaties we can look at in American history that the federal government engaged in with Native Americans, where two individuals sat down at a table and agreed upon prisoner exchanges, agreed upon boundaries, agreed upon trade, where the individual who was representing the government actually saw Native American people as an equal partner. There's a lot of history in this area connected to the American Revolution.
A lot of history that maybe not everybody knows about.
Dr. Pickett is taking me to Fort Rutledge in the Clemson Experimental Forest.
This fort plays a pivotal role in the Battle of the Seneca. It's a very significant battle because it pushes the British out of this region. So it's very important in terms of protecting this region from British control. This is a memorial marker that is put up in 1908 by the Daughters of the American Revolution. They wanted something here that would draw people's attention to it, to see it, to come here and commemorate every year these events of the Battle of the Seneca.
What was this area like during the American Revolution? Who was living here?
So it's mostly plantations, large numbers of enslaved people, large numbers of Cherokee, the Seneca village. So the fort was there to be a constant presence. A militia can be raised here if needed, and to stand as sort of almost like a buffer in between loyalists, Native American combatants, and those who were here and had ties to the low country of South Carolina and were Patriot.
Our final stop is the Hanover House, built by French Huguenots in the 1730s. The owners had 8 sons who fought in the American Revolution.
These are families, the St. Julian family and the Ravenel family, who settled in the low country of South Carolina. So it would really be kind of a farming frontier home in South Carolina in the colonial era.
The house was originally located in Berkeley County, outside of Charleston, South Carolina. When they were seeking a permanent home for the historic jewel, Clemson University, with its School of Architecture, stepped in with the knowledge, tools, and manpower to put it together.
So they had to take it apart piece by piece. So they literally numbered every board, every brick, brought it up to Clemson, all the way in the upstate, 4.5 hours away. And architects really literally worked with students rebuilding it.
So this house was moved up here because you all had this architecture school and you could put it back together.
Next, we're visiting a very special church and cemetery, listed on the National Register of Historic Places with Curtis Arnold.
The Old Stone Church, we're a perfect example of what I'd call an early frontier church here in South Carolina.
There are significant figures from the American Revolution buried here.
That's correct. We had Andrew Pickens here, Robert Anderson, and another 14 or so major players in support of the Revolutionary War that are buried out here. Andrew Pickens, certainly one of the major Revolutionary War heroes in South Carolina, was credited with the turn of the war for the battles at Cowpens. Of course, the Pickens plot is certainly kind of what I call the centerpiece of the cemetery, and we celebrate that.
Back in Spartanburg, I'm dining tonight with Anna Lyles at Wade's Restaurant. Known as a Meat and 3, you can get a square meal of meat and 3 chosen sides at Wade's. And they sure do get a lot of people to eat their veggies here.
You are a family member of the founding family.
So Wade and Betty Lindsay are my grandparents and started Wade's in 1947.
And it's been going strong ever since.
It has, yes. We're a bustling landmark of Spartanburg is what we like to say.
You know what I'm going to try first is the macaroni and cheese. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, I think that's a must.
really good. And it's so cheesy, creamy.
So you've got underneath the sliced turkey there is our homemade cornbread dressing.
Oh my goodness.
And our cornbread dressing is made with our famous yeast rolls.
James Beard Awards are not easy to earn.
Correct, yeah, the America's Classics Award. So they specifically give that award to long-standing restaurants and communities that are serving kind of the local fare. And I mean, what's more local to the South than a meat and three?
It's Friday night in Spartanburg, which means the hometown team, the Hub City Spartanburgers, are playing baseball. And I've heard I can get a nice meal and cocktails and watch this minor league baseball game at Rick Irwin's Level 10 rooftop, where General Manager Keith Anderson meets me.
Great food, great cocktails, and we get to see a hometown team play.
You definitely can beat it.
Let's go Spartanburgers.
Cheers.
Tickets, they're right about face.
We're driving less than a half hour from Spartanburg to Cowpens National Battlefield, where on January 17, 1781, General Daniel Morgan helped win a key battle against British Lieutenant Colonel Bannister Tarleton. Park Ranger Paul Cothran takes us out on the battlefield trail.
Why is this area called the Cowpens?
The Cowpens, for lack of a better way to put it, this is pasture land in the middle of a deep, deep forest. The Cowpens was flanked by creeks on both sides. Cattle drivers could stop here, turn the cattle loose without having to build fences because of the natural barriers here. It is a natural cowpens and became known locally as the Cowpens. The Battle of Cowpens is going to come at a really important time for the American Revolution here in the southern colonies, where you have a British army here under Bannister Tarleton. He's got about 1,100 troops, and he's been on the hunt, and he's been tracking down this combined Continental Militia Army under Daniel Morgan. Daniel Morgan and his army are able to reverse this tide of success for the British Army. This victory here is going to send shockwaves, a lightning bolt, to the American colonies for both soldiers and civilians.
How does Cowpens relate to these other battle sites that we've been able to visit?
All of these actions that you're talking about, battles, Kings Mountain, 96, they all link together in this chain of events to liberate South Carolina.
When we visit places like Cowpens, we can walk in the footsteps of soldiers. We can learn about what happened here. But we also can understand that this is hollow ground.
Sometimes I refer to the Cowpens National Battlefield as Arlington National Cemetery, just without the headstones. They were here, they are here, and it is as much a sacred ground as a place like Arlington would be.
Our final stop on this Revolutionary road trip is Walnut Grove Plantation, where David Wood tells us the lesser-known story of Kate Berry, who helped the Patriot cause.
Charles and Mary Moore settled this land in 1765 with a land grant from King George III. They raised a big family here, 10 children, and lived here for 40 years. Their eldest daughter, Kate Moore Berry, she rallied hundreds of men, telling the Patriots and her neighbors that General Morgan needed help. And so hundreds of men rallied and marched to Cowpens from here.
So many times in studying history, we don't hear about all the great women who were the unsung heroes sometimes.
It was a great risk to her and to the whole family. The house did become a gathering place for the militias and for those loyal to the Patriot cause, but it also became a target.
She is considered a Revolutionary War hero then.
Yes, she's the heroine of Cowpens.
I love that.
Understanding that General Morgan needed help.
What we're walking on now is the Green River.
Visiting places like Cowpens National Battlefield, 96 site, other places we've discovered here on this South Carolina Revolutionary road trip, it's really come to light how much occurred in South Carolina related to the American Revolution that played a huge role in our nation's founding that many people just don't know about. I'm Darley Newman, and I appreciate you traveling with us through my home state of South Carolina on another great Revolutionary road trip. Yum. The rest of the crew is so hungry watching us eat.
Pecans is something we kept under our bed at night. It's pecan.
Tomato.
That's right.
So just
I just wanted to do that once.
These nuts are making me happy and thirsty. We have something to share with you, Greg. You have been awarded the Silver Emmy Award. It's like a lifetime achievement award.
Are you serious?
Okay, that's it.